specifically different, I should say. And we had just collaborated successfully with New Orleans Ballet Theatre, and so I spoke with Gregory and Marjorie about joining us for a production of CARMINA, BURANA, which most audiences know as an oratorio, and was actually conceived as a highly intricate theater piece. And I thought with the wonderful resource of the Ballet Theatre, we could do a collaboration that showed the piece in its complete form. So I discussed with them the idea. They were very excited. They had had some experience with the work. And so it has led us to this moment where we are now sharing all of our artistic thoughts, our creative energies to create this very wonderful piece.
Well, it's funny. I think what excited me about this piece is the idea that we collaborate with music, dance, and singing. Early on in the conversation, we talked about thinking that West Side Story was one of the greatest accomplishments ever, because it does combine all those elements. And interestingly, Robert said, CARMINA, BURANA, most people know it as an oratorio. I would say most people know it as a ballet. So, you know, but the fact of the matter is it's always done either presented by a dance company, by an opera company, or by a symphony, and you get one point of view or the other on this piece. I thought the challenge, the excitement of the piece was to make it a three-cornered hat, like West Side Story. How do you really integrate everything and make it something that, well, you know, West Side Story's been done. The definitive version, I think, is done on that one. But on CARMINA, BURANA, I don't think that you can point to a production of CARMINA, BURANA that is the production. And so it's a little bit like the Oklahoma Territory. Whoever gets there first can claim it, and we're going to claim it. Because it's a brand new production, and the thrill of live theater is that you can get something from the worst schlock you've ever seen to the greatest thing that'll change your life. I think the way that voices, though, interact with movement is something that it's not the first piece at all that I've choreographed in that regard. And there's something a voice sings that is limber as opposed to musical instruments, that they're limited. They don't have the limberness. They don't have the ability to flow from notes to other notes as easily. And I think it explains and informs dance. It's another way in which we create art with our bodies. And so that's the beautiful thing for me, is that the singer's line and the dancer's line meets in midair.
Well, and to me, because I focus almost exclusively on opera these days, the perfect operatic gesture is one in which the nuance of the text, which is being realized by a great voice that has its own expressive qualities, is also telling a story. And dance, being a visual art form, then collaces in this process with the capabilities of each bringing their own unique dynamic, and that is singing, the musical component, and the dance component, all reinforcing a story. And that is what you've referenced West Side Story a number of times. That is what makes that piece so wonderful, is how dance carries it to a completely new level of the physical realization of what that music and that story is. And I hope that we can in some way replicate that same kind of experience with this wonderful piece. It doesn't have the specific narrative that a play has, such as Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet or Bernstein's West Side Story.
Right.
It has a much more general sense of the story, of the event, of the atmosphere. And so it also frees us to interpret that element as completely as we can.
And the audience as well. I mean, I think sometimes I hear people saying, I'm not sure I got that. Well, I don't think there's a need to get it. Whatever you get is what's important. And the other thing that I think we failed to mention is the scantily clad ballerinas. So, I mean, if you enjoy dance and beautiful bodies and beautiful women, well, you've got to see this production.
And if you enjoy this wonderful, electrifying music, we have it in abundance. Well, then we've got this huge fill of Incavera, because it's a long chorus. And it's a long chorus that has those moments of repose. You know, where the chorus goes, bum, 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 different tempi, different thrust, different this. And those are the ones that, however you choose to use your dancers, the opera chorus will need to find some physicalization of those moments, or they just no longer look like music theater. You know, then we're kind of back to oratorio, people standing around the fringe, doing great musical, dramatic statement, but with nothing that underscores.
This is all.
This is the guys, the baritone place. You bring them out. If you want 32, so be it.
They start walking around. It's going like this.
Fine.
And then they come in and they have
Most of the public knows this through television commercials, through film clips. The bombastic power of this music is so appealing that it has found its own commercial value. The fact that it's also a great piece of art is just a plus for the person looking for the richness of an artistic experience.
Well, I know the first time I was really impressed with this music was in the movie Excalibur. And the music just is filled with sex and violence and lust and red-blooded fighting, and it's an opportunity to just eat that stuff up, and the music is there, and the pulsing power of the music is just something you can't miss. I mean,
so our goal is to flesh this wonderful music out in purely theatrical terms.